Joining me for a better understanding of Xi's trip and Chinese-Egyptian relations is He Wenping in Beijing. She's a research fellow at the Institute of West Asian and African Studies. Welcome back to our show. It's been it's the 60th anniversary since China and Egypt established diplomatic ties, but really the relationship goes much further than that. Talk to us about that relationship historically and culturally.
Yes, as we all know, China and Egypt has been the oldest civilization in the world, and there are many wonderful tourist attractions there. Myself, I traveled to Egypt, also visit Luxor, so I was so surprised and very impressive to see all those civilizations in Egypt. And vice versa in China, like Great Wall, Summer Palace, all of those. So there are increasing Chinese now traveling to Egypt. And also now there is a Chinese Cultural Year in Egypt, and the Egyptian Cultural Year in China now has been taken place simultaneously. So I think those activities will bring Chinese people and the Egyptian people closer and closer. And also, I think Egypt is the very first African country and the Arabic country who had established ties with China in the as early as in 1956, so exactly 6 decades ago. So in the year 1955, that was the Bandung Conference took place in the Bandung in Indonesia. So at that time, Chinese then the Prime Minister Zhou Enlai had met then the President of Nasser in Egypt. So those two great leaders, they have exchanged the idea with each other immensely, and they got to know, they talk not only the international relations, bilateral relations, they even had discussed things about the philosophy, Asian, the culture, so all those deep thinkings. So after that meeting, so the following year, that's why China and Egypt had made diplomatic ties. So China supported Egyptian people to fight with those colonial power, like to get the sovereignty power for the Suez Canal. So all of those historical those background, I think, has served as a very solid foundation for current relationship consolidation between China and Egypt.
Let's take a look at some of the economic ties. Egypt is one of the founding members of the AIIB, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. It's also very interested in the One Belt, One Road initiative. But Egypt is also troubled economically. Do you think China can help Egypt get back on track?
Well, I think even though China would like, and we have also this capacity to help Egypt out from their economic trouble, but I don't think any single country can have that magic role to trace everything around. So, but we will do our part, make a great contribution. We all know during the past several years, Egypt has experienced a very great social, economic, and political transition. So after those up and down, so now the economic situation is not in a very good shape. So that's why Egyptian government also make up their development plan called Suez Canal Corridor Economic Zone. So this zone building, I think, has been integrated very closely with China's initiative called One Belt, One Road. So with this connection and docking, I think China can offer quite a lot of help, those Chinese companies will be very enthusiastic to go to Egypt to join those infrastructure building, like I have heard a light railway project has been inked from to link Cairo with another city to the west of the Cairo. So, and also we have built Suez Canal Economic Development Zone, and more Chinese companies now set their company base in that zone. So this will help Egyptian economy to strengthen their industrial capacity. And in addition, I think we also begin to conduct financial cooperation with Egyptian government, with their financial institution. So it is said that $1 billion those loans will be offered to Egyptian, and especially focus on their SME or Egyptian local enterprises to get financial support to set up their business. So with all those help, I think at least the Egyptian economy will get another engine for their economic revival and for the economic development.
All right, and another full day ahead in Cairo. He Wenping, thank you so much for joining us from Beijing.